Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Wakakadash. In the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh. In His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Rashwan Kadash Latum, and I say Barak to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the M.O.T.B news updates, as we've been seeing more and more pushing of the central digital currency. With the CBDC plot, CBDC trials, CBDC tests, the Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, digital dollar, digital currency. We see more push of that. Now at the same time, these other countries, worry about the privacy of their financial, the privacy of their money and their finance. And that's what we've been seeing all these businesses, these companies, these CEOs around the world. It's been a great heavy discussion about that, especially from the year 2024 and all into 2025. That's an added side note to that. But all this is going to lead to the role of the M.O.T.B, which is recorded in Revelations 13, verse 16 to verse 18. As I want to add a side note to that, and this is a news article published 4 minutes ago, 4-minute read, published by James Morales, editor from the Ensaya SIA, if I pronounced that right, published 11 hours ago. And it says from ccn.com, it says online versus offline central digital currency, the privacy battle dividing the EU. Right, because scriptures do say, what's that St. Mark the 3rd chapter, if a kingdom be divided, separately, understand? So you're going to have a economical division between, the European Union, and that's what we've seen. It says the EU Council and European Parliament will begin negotiation a framework for the digital euro in 2026. It says key takeaways. The Council of the EU has adopted a digital euro negotiation position that favors online and offline functionality. However, privacy hawks and the European Parliament are pushing for offline only digital currency. It says, as for two sides prepare for negotiations in 2026, privacy has emerged as a key battle line. It says, as the EU, which is the European Union, a digital euro launches inching closer to realization. Policymakers are split between two camps. It says, competing vision for the central bank digital currency. In one model, offline central digital currency has behaved like digital cash with strong privacy built in by design. However, another ambitious approach envisions the digital euro as a comprehensive online payment instrument that offers the same functionality as a card and digital wallet. Yes, we're definitely seeing the increasing signs of that. So, so
you don't lie.
Yeah.
They got the OG tomorrow now.
Huh?
They got the OG tomorrow now.
I think I got yeah, I got another $1. I got $1.
You got that down?
Yeah.
Holding to 20 cents. It's like holding to 20 cents.
It says, it says possible federal what? Oh, that's something else. 8 departments promote the multilateral central digital currency bridge with significant process expected. So that's what we're seeing as of lately. The European Union leaning towards the pushing of the offline online payments. They're going to have discussions of that in the year 2026. You're definitely seeing signs of that. All right. It says recent news in the central bank digital currency space includes the European Union advancing the digital euro project and Russia preparing for the digital ruble for government use. And the U.S. House of Representatives passing legislation to ban the Federal Reserve from issuing a digital currency. Right, so we're seeing both opposite of directions. You have some countries leaning towards the pushing of their digital ruby and a digital euro. Because I believe it was a news article that came out from RT.com. They were saying the digital ruby was at an all-time high. See if I can bring up that news article. Then I'm gonna get back to the digital currency news. Yep, it says Ruby posts the large gain since 1994. It says the Ruby posts strongest gain since 1994. The Bloomberg Washington currency has outperformed those other countries this year. Outline has said the Russian ruby has surged large than any other major global currency this year, marking right despite the fact they get hit with Western sanctions from the European Union and NATO. Despite the fact they face no sanctions with the Russian rupee, it had an all-time high, which I'm kind of surprised. It says the Russian rupee has surged more than any other major global currency this year, marking its strongest performance since 1994, according to the Bloomberg calculations. The national currency has also become one of the world's fastest, highest yield major assets this year, trailing only precision metals, platinum, silver, and platinum. It says in platinum and the gold. It says that the rupee has raised 45% since the beginning of the year, trades nearly 78 per dollar, and approaching leagues now seen since before the escalation of the Ukraine conflict in 2022. The outlet has said on Washington. The rupee strength has linked into a step decline in Russia's demanding for foreign currency amid Western sanctions, coupled with a significant monetary policy that has enhanced the attractiveness of rupee denominated assets for the residents. The central banks maintain a record high key interest rate for 3 years until December. It was reduced by 5% points to 60% as of measures of the current inflation amid the sweeping sanctions related to the Ukraine conflict. Yep. It says the recent news of central digital currency highlights a global push for development of plotting. Right, we've been seeing more and more pushing of the central digital currency plot, the CBDC trial, CBDC test, and more pushing of everything is being digital, which we already currently live in a modern day digital society as it is already. So just want to add a side note to that. Yes, so I'm kind of surprised that the Russian rupee was up at an all-time high, first at the time since 1994, despite the sweeping sanctions that Russia been dealing with from the Western countries. And this is the book of Revelation. So all this is going to lead to, as we've been seeing more and more pushing of the central digital currency, the Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, which is going to be more digital, and this more pushing of the pushing of the digital RFID chip that's going to be part of finance as well too. While we have other countries, more worry about, their financial privacy. So some might choose the digital currency, and some might use the Bitcoin or stablecoin. That's basically like an alternative to, digital currency. All that's going to lead to the pushing of the digital RFID chip. It says Revelations 13 verse 16, and it calls of all, both small and great, rich or poor, free or bond, because we know, the physical dollar and paper dollar and the physical coin is going to be a thing of the past. That's what we're seeing more and more of digital cash, and that's going to be digital cash and digital coin. All that's going to lead to the road to the M.O.T.B. right along with it as well too. Revelations 13 verse 16, and it calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a karama in their right hand or in their FOREATDS, right to the pushing of the digital RFID chip. Even if you're upper class, low class, economical spectrum, they're going to use this in order for you to buy or sell, especially from a financial perspective. Revelations 13 verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, right? So once this comes into full effect, in order for you to buy or sell, you're going to have that digital RFID chip. It says that no man might buy or sell and say that he had the Quran or the name of the BSC or his name. Right, so with this digital RFID chip, they're gonna have an option to where it has to be like online, offline as well too. And this is what they're pushing for, especially with the central digital currency and digital rupee, and all these currencies, these from these different nations. And that's why we've been seeing the 130 plus countries leaning towards the pushing of the central digital currency with their own form of currency as well too, because all that's going to lead up to the road to the M.O.T.B. This is Revelations 13 verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, right? That no man might buy or sell, save he had the Quran, was the M.A.R.K, or the name of the BSC, right? This new economical system that we're 100% fully about to enter into, or the number of his name. Revelations 13 verse 18, it says, here is wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the BST, for it is a number of a man. And his number is SIX 303 squared SIX. So with that, hopefully this sit down less was edifying of the M.O.T.B news updates as of December the 25th, 2025. On this Thursday afternoon. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and number two to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kokodash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew of the Lashon Kodash tongue. And I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim Wa'akwaf. Until next time, I will say Shalom.